So I talked with Lucky Man about what he's doing, and he says his organization Can we advance more? Okay, thanks. It's called Help Our Students for the Poor Children of Cambodia. It started in 2000 when he had just come back into the country, and he met me less than a year after that. It became an official nonprofit organization in 2005, and currently has 5 schools throughout the Siem Reap region in the rural Cambodian countryside. It had been up to 9 schools, but has been reduced due to budgetary constraints. Both primary and secondary schools, 372 students currently go there to learn English and Christianity. There's also an orphanage within Siem Reap that is currently at 12 children. And the annual budget for this orphanage and 5 schools, the total budget is $12,000. So money goes a long way in Cambodia. And it's also on a shoestring budget. This is how Trinity has been helping out. So 3 years ago, Trinity started donating $2,000 a year to help out HSPCCO. And that, in addition to personal donations, has helped to keep it going. So I want to thank you there. So Suzanne and I came over, we looked at it, we taught at some of the schools, we met with the children, wonderful children over there, and saw some of what they're doing. So that's the story. And one of the keys that I want to leave you with this story is Lucky Man himself. Our key verse for today talks about finding a refuge in the Lord when you trust in Him. Lucky Man trusted in Him, and he was protected through those minefields. And he trusted in Him because now it's even more serious. He has almost 400 people that are dependent on him. So he's trusting for providence as well. So that trust that he has in the Lord is what takes him through. Now, more recently, Bob and Nancy Plaxico were able to go over to Cambodia and to visit the orphanages, or visit the orphanage and the schools. And Nancy's going to tell you a little bit about what she saw while she's over there. So thank you very much.
So to bring you up to date, as John mentioned, Bob and I were there in Cambodia in November, and we spent a day with Lucky Man visiting schools and orphanages. We first went to a primary school. This is out in a rural area. The nearest public schools are a long way away, so Lucky Man said these kids did not have a school before this one was built. That blue banner says the name of the organization, Help Our Students for the Poor Children of Cambodia. So they were holding class. It was open air. All the schools were, because it's very hot in Cambodia. That's where you get a little air moving through. We joined the class, and the kids knew we were coming, and they had a welcome song prepared for us, which they sang to us. They knew we were from Trinity, and so they were really welcoming all of you. And we sat and listened to the class as the teacher taught them during those sessions. And the students were very rapt and attentive, and while we were there, they worked on their notebooks. This was the one and only book that they had, a notebook to write down their lessons in. And while the class went on, we went to the room behind the classroom where the teacher lives. So this is her one-room home, very simple, very basic there. And then before we left, they had a thank you song that they wanted to sing us again. That was for all of you here at Trinity. And they bid us farewell. Here they are. They all bid us farewell as we left the primary school. Then we went on to a secondary school. So this is ages 11 to 15. This was a class of English that afternoon, and the kids had come in from that. As John said, English really is the ticket out of poverty in Cambodia, so they were very eager to learn English. This is the teacher of that school. He's been with Lucky Man for 10 years. He met him in the refugee camps in Thailand. They've been working together ever since. He, like the other teachers, is a volunteer, is not paid. There's not money to pay the teachers. But he lives there at this school with his wife and his child, who you see, and also he takes care of an orphan there with them at the school. This is in the class, the English class, and they're eagerly learning English. When I came back, Tracy Alexander from Trinity was very interested in all of this. She's a middle school teacher, and we talked about how her class would like to become pen pals with some of the classes here. So I think we've got that in the works. They won't be able to do it by email because they don't have any computers at the school, but I think they may actually write real letters like in the old days to each other. So here's the school. The only books at this secondary school was an English book, cost $1 each, and they're shared, one book to each 2 students. So everything is very meager, again, done on the barest of a shoestring. So as the class ended, they all gathered. We took a picture. I'm there, the tall one, the fuzzy one in the back. And they said goodbye. And we went on to the orphanage, which is in the town of Siem Reap. It's in a house there, and it has the 12 children who live there, along with the caretaker. This was in the afternoon, and most of the kids, since it is in the town, there's a public school, so they were in the public school for the afternoon. Just these 2 kids were at the orphanage when we were there. There's the caretaker. She lives there with them, cooks, takes care of the children. This is one of the sleeping areas for the kids. Again, very basic. The green is a mosquito net. And under the bed are their clothing and possessions. This is the kitchen. Very simple hot plate and rice cooker. Just the barest of means there at the orphanage. And this is the one water source for the orphanage. It's a pump. And so they do have running water. They have this one pump. So everything is very Spartan. As John mentioned, the total budget for 5 schools and the orphanage is just $12,000 a year. So our $2,000 from Trinity goes a long way and makes a very big difference. Samuth said repeatedly how he wanted to thank Trinity and all of you for your support. He told us how much that meant to him and to the kids there, and how important it was and how grateful he was for your support. I think what we saw there is that the Lucky Man is doing the work of God in protecting and providing for and sheltering these children. And we are the hands of support to help him do that work. So definitely from an eyewitness who was there, I can tell you that you can feel very proud that what you're doing is doing so much good and helping some of the neediest children there in one of the poorest countries in the world. Now I'd like to turn to another part of the world, and Jed Mintz is going to tell us some about Afghanistan, where he's serving, and how God is working there.